Support for Cinema Classics comes from Film Columbus, enriching our community to make Columbus a destination for film education, exhibition, and production. Learn more at filmcolumbus.com. Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to shows every Thursday at 8:01 p.m. and full shows online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto. This is Cinema Classics, and it's our regular update with John Doherty of Film Columbus. First of all, John, thank you very much for the support that you show Cinema Classics every week, without which we wouldn't be able to afford the push pins to hold.
I see my money's going to.
Yes, see, it's all the money goes to this.
25 cents per pin.
Right, 25 cents per pin.
For $1, you
otherwise this thing is falling down. You don't see anything, it'd just be Cinema Classics. So, yes, there you go. That's what your support is buying. So, you just got back from Sundance.
Yes.
And that's really cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. I try to go every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now, as, the representative of Film Columbus there, you said it's not so much important for you to see movies. It's that you're there and you're glad-handing and making relationships.
Yeah, for sure. I was supposed to see some movies this year, just didn't get around to it. It's really important for me as the film commissioner and representing Film Columbus to be out there meeting producers and directors and promoting the Central Ohio area to filmmakers.
So what does that pitch sound like?
Come film in Columbus, we might have tax credits left.
Okay, really? So
but no, it's if I talk to them and they're looking for a place to do a film, and surprisingly, talking with lots of producers and directors, Ohio comes up often.
Yeah.
On their radar. They know there's a tax credit here, which we're working on, which we'll talk about in a second. But they know there's a tax credit, so Ohio pops up on the radar. So talking to them about it, talking to them about the landscape and what we have to provide for them, crew-wise, location-wise, that sort of thing. So that's what we're talking about.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
The landscape.
Yeah.
It's hard. It must be a tough sell, I would think. Because geographically, it's not a very interesting place.
It seems that way, but it's really not. Especially Columbus, we're located right in the center of the state. So we can go north 2 hours, get to the lake. We can go south 2 hours, get to a river, rolling hills. So, and then you can go outside of it. You can get urban landscapes here, right downtown. And then you can go outside of the city 30 minutes in any direction, and you're in rural areas. So,
good, you passed the test.
Yeah, it works. It works really well. And producers and directors that have come in and scouted here, getting them here. When they're here, it's an easy sell because they're really surprised at what's here. And I tell people that all the time. They come here and they're like, wow, we had no idea all this was going on. And, culturally it's great. The cost of living is low.
I would imagine if a filmmaker needed a dry riverbed, that this would be the place to come. They don't have no effects. We don't need any effects. We just have this vast swath of dry riverbed.
The number of great locations here is crazy. Like, for one, there's...
I'm giving you a hard time.
No, but I'm selling it. So, for one, there's like empty prisons around up north, up Delaware County. There's beautiful old empty banks right downtown that not a lot of people are aware of, that I've taken 2 or 3 people through those to scout, and they want to come here and shoot in these locations. So, again, getting them here, once they're here, it's an easy sell.
Okay, great. What relationships did you forge in Sundance this year?
Well, one thing that was really great is I got to go to Taylor Sheridan's house.
Okay,
for a party. Taylor Sheridan, writer-director of the Sicaria movies,
nice.
Wind River, a bunch of stuff. And I was invited by Elizabeth Bell, who produces a lot of his films. And Liz is from Bexley.
Okay.
And obviously lives in LA now. And she is super excited about what we're doing here at the Film Commission and trying to get films here, and she wants to bring films back to Columbus. And they've got one film in particular that they're looking at, and she wants to bring it here. But again, about the tax credits, we can start talking about that now. The tax credits right now are all gone. So we get
for this year,
for this fiscal year. The fiscal year's July 1 to June 30.
Okay.
So all the money's used up until June 30th.
Who used this?
Let's see. There's a film in Cincinnati right now that's being filmed. There's been a few up in Cleveland. Nothing major this year. We had a film called Country Christmas Album filmed here a few months ago, which played on ION TV. but just a variety of films use up the tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're trying to do as the Film Commission, we being the Film Commission, is we are trying to shape the current Ohio Motion Picture Tax Credit, the law, into something that's beneficial for the whole state and is fairly distributed throughout the year. So, for example, there are so many applications. Well, number one, we want to expand it. We want to ask for $100 million a year,
Right.
but we probably won't get that.
Okay.
But this past fiscal year, which started July 1 of 18, that $40 million was gone in a couple days. Basically, a bunch of people sent in applications. Those applications were approved, and then that money was gone. So after that point, they have to file progress reports. If those progress reports aren't filed, that money goes back into the pot. And so throughout the year, there's a little bit of money available here and there.
Okay.
So we're just trying to, again, the most important part is getting that tax credit expanded.
So who makes the decision ultimately? Like, if does it really fall on the filmmakers where they ultimately end up wanting to shoot, or does who makes the decision where that tax credit is going? I'm going to give it to these guys going to Cleveland. I'm going to give it to this woman making a film in Cincinnati. How does that work?
So there's a score sheet, and the tax credit is administered by the Development Services Agency, which is tourism's under that and everything. But there's a score sheet, and as an application comes in, it gets date stamped, and then as the deadline approaches for the fiscal year, they'll start going through them in the order they were received and score each application. And part of the scoring is on geographic location and economic impact and all that kind of stuff. So at the bottom of the score, if it meets all the criteria, they're awarded the tax credit.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
So one of the things that we're trying to do now is when it was we were successful in doubling it from 20 million to 40 million in fiscal year 17, so summer of 17. But one of the things that was written into the law that we didn't agree with, we have to compromise with Cleveland and Cincinnati and other film commissions around the state, is they lost the cap per project. So what that means is, in essence, one big film, $120 million film, could come through the state and wipe out the whole thing. That doesn't do anybody any good except for the producers, directors of that film.
Right. Who apparently would already have the resources anyway.
Right. So so we don't agree with that. We want to see some sort of maybe an above the line cap. That means the salaries of the director, producer, actors are capped. And a lot of states with really successful tax credit programs have those above the line caps.
This sounds like a really exciting movie, actually.
It could be. I didn't
Tax
think
credit
about that.
wars.
Excuse me.
No, because it's such a bizarre, like competitive thing. Like we're competing.
It is, and I don't. It sucks that it's like that. That's again why we want to see it expanded so that everybody has the opportunity. Like I said, Liz wants to come here with the Taylor Sheridan movie and shoot, and there were 3 or 4 other Christmas movies of the company that shot the last Christmas movie, Parkside Pictures. They had 3 or 4 in line to shoot this spring. They wanted to come here. They can't. So it's really important to get it expanded. It's important to make it fair for the whole state and give everybody that opportunity to make films. Look, I don't want a Marvel film here. We couldn't support it.
Yeah.
There's no way. My sweet spot for films here is, around that $1 million to $3, maybe $5 million film, right around there, maybe a little above that. We're able to support that easily. And again, I don't want those big films. I'm not interested in it. I want to create jobs, create sustainable jobs, keep people living here, working here, paying taxes here. If we had 3 or 4 films and a TV show here, I could keep 300 to 400 people working year round.
Wow.
So to me, that's important. It's much more important than Marvel coming in, staying here for 60 days, packing up and leaving, and taking everything with them.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
And eating the credit.
And eating the credit up.
Yeah.
It's all about positive economic impact and creating jobs. I get calls a lot from people that are from Central Ohio and Columbus. They live in LA, Georgia. They don't want to raise families there. They're in the business and they want to move back. They call me and say, "Hey, is there enough work for me to move back?" And honestly, I'd say not right now.
Yeah.
But there are people that want to move back and stay in the business and work here.
Well, if there's like about $125 left on the credit, if you could shave it off so John could buy a new camera.
We
That would
see
be
if we
cool.
can get a tax credit
It looks
for
like an old flip phone.
John DeSando's camera. The John DeSando tax credit.
Well, we have
Fun.
faith in you.
Thank you.
We couldn't have a better looking, more charming,
Oh, I think
capable. We could, I guess. But
Wow.
I'm trying to be polite.
Wow. Hey,
Anyway.
I am paying for this song.
Yes. Thank you. Without which, no one would know what we're talking about. Thanks, man.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.